Okay, so the universe is crazy, like crazy. Okay, so I woke up this morning. Well, I actually started watching the tarot reading last night, but I just got tired. And okay, so I never recommend for you to watch a tarot reading and like fall asleep on it or like any kind of reading. Just I think anything because everything soaks into your subconscious, whether you know it or not. So I get nervous that I'm a watch a reading and it's gonna soak into my head and I not even consciously know what that person said. So at a certain point, if I know I'm about to go to sleep, I'm just gonna turn it off or turn all videos off so that it's not doing that. But yeah, so it was it's a twin flame reading that I was watching. I started last night, but it was a good like hour, and I was like, an hour? I don't know about that. But actually, once I started watching it, it was more of a she ended up doing a reading at the end, but the reading was to me so not valuable. Not because the reading was not good, but because she talked at the beginning and it was just so much. It was informational, kind of like it meant more for me personally, and so yeah, like I said, it was a twin flame reading, and she talked about completion basically, and she talked about codependency. When I tell you, I felt that shit spiritually because that's something that I felt like in my last relationship. That was something I dealt with, being very codependent, and we were codependent on each other, where it became so unhealthy, and it just got out of hand, and I feel like that's actually what like oh that's like and I know it sounds bad, but it's like that's the relationship now that I'm in the world looking for, like, and not literally that I'm looking for a codependent relationship, but for me codependency related to it translates to passion, because we were just that like engrossed in each other, and we was that just like there for each other for everything. But it's kind of like the emotion of like, the hottest love have had, hold on, let me get it together, the hottest love has the coldest ending, and that's what Drake said, and I was like, oh, I feel that shit spiritually, because I just felt like our love was so intense that it was just like intense, and I'm like, wow, like, am I ever gonna find it again? And that's what I want. But it's like, that's not what I want, because when it ended, I felt like the rug was pulled from underneath of me, like, and everything came fucking shattering down, like, and I was like, I never want to be in a position where someone could just pull the rug from underneath me and my world comes collapsing, kind of. But yeah, and so the reading was talking about, like I said, being codependent, and she talked about that shit, and it was like, wow, like I knew that's what was going on. Like I knew that was my issue, why I can't find a relationship, but I feel like that's what I have to work on before I get into another relationship, or before the universe directs someone opposite, or well, not opposite, direct someone in my direction. And so she talked, and I mean, I was just listening because I was like, wow. And she was basically saying like, it's, I guess, I'm okay now. I'm not sure about the astrology right now, but she was saying basically it's a full moon, but this full moon energy is going to give like kind of a completion, and not a. So she made a difference between death and completion. Death is like, it's a brutal ending, but a completion is just saying like, yes, it's an ending to like a cycle, but that doesn't mean that it won't come back. It'll just come back kind of as a new form or something new. As maybe like in my case, maybe it'll come back as a new love. It may be the same person, but it's a new type of love where we're not codependent, but it may just be literally a new love. But yeah, so she was just reading, basically talking about twin flames in different situations. So I watched that, and then I went to another video that was also a twin flame reading, and she was talking about the energy, like how the energy is shifting, and she talked about how she said it's 148 twin flames, but to me that just, I have to research that, but to me that just wouldn't make sense, because I'm like, it's too many people. That's like 1 out of 1 billion. Like, what? That the percentage doesn't add up to me for how many twin flames there are. So that's a research I have to do, or you will have to do. But she talked about that, and she was like, ever since she heard that, she kept on seeing the number 148, or like, I think she said in time, like she would see it like it's 148 or whatever as a time. And so she said that, and I was like, shit, I want to see that. I'm like, I'm trying to get the signs that I got, this is a twin flame, or I got a twin flame. But it's crazy, the irony to it, because when I looked, I didn't see 148, but I seen 1212. I said, well, universe makes no mistakes. So I'm like, yo, it to me was so crazy. Like, I'm working on being aligned, I guess, because I don't see a lot of numbers. Honestly, like a synchronicity. I don't see a lot of numbers. I think I've seen maybe like this might be my third number that I've been, like, I guess it's the thing, I haven't been aware either. So since I've been more aware, I've only seen like 3 numbers or whatever. But it was so ironic because so I'm like, well, what does 1212 mean? So I looked it up. And from what I kind of had difficulties looking it up because a lot of videos were just too lengthy for me a little bit, and I feel like they were saying the same thing, which I guess you can't get much different. But and I googled it, reading about it. But basically, I did find something about the soul. Like, that's what I wanted, part of the soulmate part of, or the twin flame, and it kept on coming up as a twin flame portal. And it meant, basically, I guess by being a twin flame portal, it's saying that, like, y'all are both shifting at the same time, whether it's positive or negative. It's a shift that's going to happen so that you all can come back and reunite. And I was like, wow, like, and it also talked about a completion. So you remember I told you I watched that tarot reading, the first one, it talked about completion. And that's what this energy is right now, and talking about that. And then when I watched the other girls, a little bit of the other girls reading about twin flames, she also kind of talked about completion. And then the fact that I seen 1212, I was like, oh wow, universe, you out here working magic, huh? You're messing with your girl today. So yeah, I just want to talk about, I guess, like, I wouldn't say my first experience, but I feel like my first experience that I guess I could understand, like, and it really, like, the irony of it, that it was just such a beautiful moment. I was like, mind fucked, basically. Like, I was like, oh wow. I just needed that message. So yeah.